out here at the urban garden today. We're just going to do some prep work to get ready to plant out a lot of our plants and vegetables that we got going on this season. Just some weeding. We're going to get that done. The hard work, you know, stuff we really love to do in the garden. So what I got here is a raised, above ground, tiered out raised bed. Right now it's full of a bunch of carrots. We're just gonna go ahead and get those out, and we're gonna replant some carrots and radishes for this year.
Are you hiding in there?
That's another problem I gotta do. The cats really like to set up on top of my planter. We gotta figure out something to solve that problem this season. As well as keeping the cats out of it, we also got to work on maintaining watering this season. That will be a big plus. So we're going to set up a watering system onto this planter. All right, and in this planter, we've done the similar thing. I had some radishes that I overwintered, was planning on maybe setting them to seed, but I've got plenty of radish seed at this time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull these out, fix the planter box up, and then replant some new plants for this season. Probably some broccolis or something like that. So in fact, what I'll do is I'll actually just leave these few here right now. We'll let those seed out so I can show you the seed process that goes on with the radishes. It'll take a little while longer, flower up, and then the seed pods will form. We'll dry them out. We'll go through that process together later. So I'll leave those ones in. Now moving on out into the outer alleyway, we're gonna do some weeding and cleaning up right here in what is kind of half a strawberry bed, and we'll figure something out to plant in here. But as I stated before in the last tour, we are going to be putting 5-gallon buckets along here to grow our tomatoes that we've planted out. So as those get going, we'll get them set out here. And this is where most of them will grow here in the urban garden. We'll be setting that up here this next week. And then on the other side of the fence, we're going to get in and go down and clean up a lot of this, do a bunch of weeding. I've got some compost to put on top of there and get it ready to get some plants started up here as well. So we're gonna have to get to work. Alright, we're out at the outdoor in-ground garden space, and we're just exploring one of my big mistakes of the last season. And this is something that happens to people who, like myself, don't really research or get into exactly what a plant does when it's in your space. This here is raspberry. It's looking really healthy, it's looking really nice. But the problem with raspberries is they like to get down in the ground and they create little root trails, and then they pop up all over the place. So one of the things we got to do is we got to dig down in there, and we literally got to dig down and find all of this trail and try to find that whole root till its very end to try to keep it from invading anymore and relocate this plant, or at least the trails around that are going into the rest of the garden space, out of here. But this ought to be real fun. Yeah, that route leads to that plant, which then leads to a root trail that attaches to this one that pops out, and then continues on through and underneath here in some sort of way all the way up to the main plant. There you can see there, this little small one coming out from the side of it. So like I said, this ought to be a nice long project. All right, everyone, we're basically time warping a couple of days ahead of time right now. We're out in the urban garden. I had some technical difficulties, lost footage on where we left off there, so we're basically a couple of days ahead of time. Still working on a few projects, a couple of left going to wait until I could get things started back up. So we got a few things that we did get done. One of the things I did want to show you real quick is, if you saw the weeding we were doing around the bush, that I had installed basically this drain pipe going through there. If you saw the pipe in the background, and that's going to help me with drainage off of the back slope where I get a bunch of water that kind of likes to pool up and whatnot. So now I have a drain pipe leading out, so the water does not pool up and get into the garden space there as well, flooding it out and whatnot. And as you can tell, the flowers are out. A lot of them are coming in, and tulips are really looking nice right now. Look at those. Lots of different colors. Garlic patch is looking pretty good. And back to where we were a minute ago. Raspberry bush is still here. I did dig out and pull out a lot of its trails. I think I got most of them out. Maybe little pieces might pop up, and those we'll worry about as we see them, and hopefully we can get it just basically pushed back. We'll work on relocating that plant at a later time. I do kind of want to see what kind of fruit I'm going to get this year, as I've been waiting. So it's looking really nice on both sides of the fence, so we should get some pretty good raspberries this year. And then maybe I'll look for some suggestions on what I should do in relocating it. Alright, more flowers and a couple of elephant garlics that we put in there this last fall. I'll just show you this in here. Now basically this celery here I grew in this last fall, late summer I planted it. It really overwintered pretty well, and then I just basically cut it all back right after winter, and it's starting to come up great. Getting a lot of nice celery stalks coming up here in its next year. So we'll be looking for it to possibly shoot out some seed stalks, and at that time I'll thin it out, keep a couple of them to have it seed out and continue to produce celery as we keep going into the next seasons. And we'll probably come in here and I'll plant out like I did the year before, some onions and whatnot, and we'll stick some climbing beans to come up that trellis there. I do have to say I did grow a morning glory on this trellis a couple of years ago, and those things are pretty crazy. I had morning glory wrapped all over, wanting to climb all over the place. It was really nice, but it was getting way out of control. So as you can tell, I have a thing about getting involved with things that just really get out of control. So back to over here on the other side of the fence, as we were working on there in the earlier segment, I just wanted to come back in one of the pieces I lost footage on and just kind of review and show you what I had gotten done. Basically got our compost basically put in and our water lines all set up here, as we will be working on getting set up here in the next couple of weeks, getting planted out our plants. One of the things I did find down here too is getting some nice mint growing out of somewhere. I don't know where it came from, but it's surely some nice mint growing all up underneath and everything. So we'll let that go and see how that goes. But everything's looking pretty nice. We'll get our corn and squash and beans planted out here just a couple weeks. Yeah, and I got this compost pile I set up, and we're gonna dig out and get some of this really good compost up under here too, and spread that out along the top as well. That'll be one of the projects we'll be working on here in a little bit. Strawberries are coming up amazing. The plants are just really enjoying the season right now. I expect to get some berries coming here pretty soon. We've already got some flowers. Ought to be real good berries this year, being in their second year. Alright, let's go take a look at a couple of things over here. And now I wanted to show everybody this. Here is our cilantro coming up. Now I do have to admit something a little behind the scenes for everybody. It took a few takes to do that seed segment on the cilantro, back a few episodes. So there's a lot of seed in there, and there's going to be plenty of thinning out we're going to have to do. As you can tell, we got a lot of little plants popping up. But it was a great opportunity to talk about scarification and planting seeds. All right, and just wanted to get down in here real quick and show y'all from the potato episode. We've got some potato plants popping up. And I can tell in the other ones too, they're starting to pop up. You can see little dirt mounds coming up. So we'll be looking to do another episode catching up with those pretty soon, where we'll fill them in and catch up with those then. Let's take a look at these peas. Really coming on strong now. Lots of flowers. And if we look right here, our first actual pods. There's a little one coming in right there. So this is one great example of getting your plants started early in the season. So we did plant out some radish seeds here. And in a moment I'm going to plant out those carrot seeds. We'll take it down a look here. We'll catch up with the lettuce and whatnot we planted out. And you can tell the little radish starts coming up in there. The lettuces are going along just fine. Oh, here's the other. Here is the other side of the fence raspberry. Looking really nice. As I said, we'll be looking to get some really nice berries there off this plant. Let's go down and take a look here. And there's those pea shoots. Now the ones on the back are the ones that we chitted out in the house for a couple of days, and we allowed them to get a good start, and then basically picked out what looked like our strongest seed starts out of those chitted seeds. Now on the front, I've got a couple of plants coming up now, and those ones we just soaked overnight. So in this example, we can definitely tell here that in the chitting out method did give us an advantage. So these ones will grow up now. Right up our bean trellis. So there's the opening for that overflow for the water coming through here. Something I'll take a look at here as well. Do have a bunch of different little plant starts of different things we're going to get planted out. Some of them just a little too leggy, but let's see if I can't get it. Got our onions. We got some leeks hopefully popping up over here. So we got a few different starts going here. In my attempt at growing from seed, although I'm sure what we will be doing is taking plenty of plant starts from a couple of events coming up here that we'll hopefully get an opportunity to go out and check out together. Still got to get this planter box repaired, and I'm gonna have to move the radish that's going to seed. We're gonna have to move that. We'll probably put in a bucket, move it off to the side. Hopefully, maybe even that stress will even help it seed a little faster. But it's already got some good flower tops coming up, so we should be seeing some nice flowers coming off of that pretty soon. Alright, one suggestion I did check out for the cats, and so far it seems to be pretty good. I'm going to cut them down actually and make it a little bit shorter, maybe even half, so I can kind of double them there. And I just picked these up in the craft aisle at the store, and I'm going to work on that as we plant out some of those lettuces and whatnot that we're going to put right in there. And check out all them strawberry flowers. This strawberry box is coming along really nice. And the kale that I had out here has shot up to seed and is flowered. Same with the other kale. And already starting to set up seed pods. Those little pods at the end here will contain the seed. So as this continues to develop, those will dry out. We'll collect that later. We'll show that to you later. Alright, let's take a look inside here. There's our Swiss chard. Got some more lettuce starts there. And down here, some garlic chives coming up. Thyme. And these over here are the cucumbers. So we got different varieties of cucumbers coming up at the moment. Those things pop up, we'll be able to move them out of this space, and we'll be using this space to house our tomatoes as we move them up from the 6-packs we planted them into our gallon pots. Well, Carl, how you doing, buddy boy? This is one of my cats, Carl. Thanks, Carl.